So this guy
Whoa.
will take 25% of my gold, and then I open one chest, and if it's the right one, I get triple what I paid in. But I've never won so far, which... Oh, I made it! I got it! That's the first time.
Why
Guys.
does he look like an anime?
He looks like a weird Cloud Strife.
It's Cloud Strife mixed with Patches, the hyena.
I like the idea
It
of...
makes you really want to hit him in the face.
I like the idea of he looks like an anime. Like, just an anime as a thing.
He's got like a Piccolo outfit and then like a anything else hairstyle. You know.
It took me a long time to get used to the way that these spikes work, like the speed at which they pop up. And I'm feeling pretty good about it now, but it's taken me a good long while to get used to it.
So you're gonna be killed by spikes in like 5 minutes here, then?
Almost
Spikes have
certainly.
weird triggers. Sometimes if you're really close, the spike's gonna pop up, be kind of like, hey buddy, you coming?
Yeah. If you're like standing next to them, kind of, but not actually on them yet.
Yeah, the spikes just kind of go, eh? Eh? Come on.
Or like an overeager pet. Like they hear the door opening and they're like, oh.
The spikes look so happy to see you home.
Brack the man says the spikes give me Catherine flashbacks, and I'm pretty sure there's a support group on the internet for that.
Oh man, you guys, speaking of Catherine, you know what I watched the other day on Twitch at like 3 a.m. when I should have been
Bankruptcy
sleeping?
proceedings?
Bankruptcy proceeding. No, although we should probably talk about that too
Bummer.
and be sad.
I've heard it's kind of a strange ordeal as to how that breaks down.
But what I watched though was the like live semifinals of competitive Catherine.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. People are doing that.
Competitive Catherine.
Apparently, it's really big amongst fighting game players.
I've never played Catherine. I've heard it's kind of a frustrating puzzler.
Yeah, I think I like Catherine conceptually, and I like a lot of the story stuff it's doing. But as far as an actual game to play, I was really frustrated by it.
The best way to play it is watching Austin play it and not playing it yourself. That helped my appreciation of Catherine.
I can believe that would be the case.
All right, I'm gonna call the night. I have to be awake in 6 hours.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
After the other be up in 5 hours. You can
Well-
walk through it.
Jeez.
GF, you got that old man energy though.
I call it farmer's blood. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, that's
You'll understand when you're my age. You've already slipped away like a third of your life. You don't need to lose any more of it.
Exactly. It's the mortality seems so much more real. You don't have time to sleep.
Exactly. Sleep is the Yeti of your life. It's coming.
It all
It's
comes
coming.
full circle.
And you can keep on sleeping and doing sick jumps in your sleep, but the Yeti's gonna get you.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. I'm casting a pearl of wisdom your way.
There's just tons of question marks floating above Giop's head.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go.
Good luck with your regular sleep schedule.
Yeah, weirdo.
Before we go, can I plug training day real quick?
Oh yeah, yeah. What did you decide on a time when you're going to be doing that regularly?
Yeah, so I think we've got a good chunk of the people who watched it in the chat already. But so I guess I'm going to be starting doing a weekly call-in show Sunday night.
I mean, you've already started. You did the first.
Our first episode was last Sunday, so it'll be Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time, which is 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The whole idea is that it's a call-in show, so you just call me on Skype.
People, if you have life problems, don't solve them. Hold on to those for a little while, and let's talk about it.
God forbid, like if you've got something like simmering, don't use this weekend to be a productive human being and figure that out.
Please
wait
don't.
to call me. But we just kind of talked about random stuff. We had I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but Oren, one of kind of the regulars in chat, is an indie game dev. So he got on, talked about his games for a while. We did a lightning round poll from the chat. There's talk of a game show happening this Sunday. I need to figure out a prize for that.
Oh, Oren is here. Oren's in the chat.
He is here. So yeah, I'm still figuring out what exactly this is, but it was a lot of fun last week. So come check it out. That's going to be Sunday at 9 p.m. Central.
It'll be a thing.
Yes, and during which the reason it's called Training Day is that I play Train Simulator during it. But I don't really play it. It's more just there. Yeah, so and if you want to hear more updates on that, follow me on Twitter. I'm at Andrew Lee Swan. I'll type it in the chat real quick. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna head to bed. You all enjoy Rogue Legacy. I'll probably try this out tomorrow.
Good.
Now that I own it.
Let me know how it goes. Let me know what you think of it.
Oh, it'll probably be terrible.
You're probably gonna hate it. It's a good game, so you're probably gonna hate it.
You're gonna die
7.5
regardless.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Good night.
How I'm curious, how many times did you guys die before you felt like you had a grasp on the game? Because it did take me a while.
Not too long, really. I mean, I figured out, oh, this is how it goes pretty quickly. But I did get stomped pretty badly for the first 2 or so generations.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out here. Oh, man. I just figured it. The Spelunker has a special power that I think I just put together.
Does he have some kind of like laser vision? What's
Look
happening there?
at the map.
Whoa.
Oh.
He has a head like a lamp on his head.
Headlamp?
Yeah. And apparently you can see all the treasure everywhere, so that's pretty helpful.
Wow, Spelunker sense is tingling.
That is very helpful indeed. If you're trying to put together a lot of money, which I guess if you're playing a Spelunker, probably should be, since that's their other power. Because this is the upgraded version of the miner, so they get the miner's ability to get extra money. Yeah, Mads Fox says Spelunker equals God. How much Austin? How much time have you put into this? I mean, you should just get Austin on Skype.
He's on Skype.
I know, like, I mean, invite him to this call.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I'm sure that's wait a second, so he has some warning, but
I don't like giving him a warning.
you just like catching him completely off guard. And...
That's my thing.
Okay. I can maybe what? There we go. Skype's hard. I don't know if you guys know.
It's not
Tricky.
the easiest.
It's got a weird user interface, and the thing is, it has all these big buttons and things that make it look like it's super simple, and then I'll sit there for a while, kind of like an old man, kind of like, how do I make it go with the thing?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hey, Austin.
Hey,
How do I make with the talkie on the Skype cadoodle thing?
You're doing it. You're making it work.
Have I been brought on to explain how Skype works to Gio?
Can you explain how Skype works?
So, the internet is a series of tubes through which your voice travels on the Skype lines. They're called Skype lines as it goes through the sky, and it's like a pipe. Like a tube is like a pipe, so you combine those two
It's a
words.
sky
the
net of
sky
sorts.
pipe. It's like a net of sky pipes, right? This game's pretty good.
This game's real good. How much time have you played in it at this point?
I actually don't know, because I've been playing a Humble Bundle version, which doesn't have Steam stats on it, right? So,
Is that the
Probably-
actual final version?
Yeah.
That was yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
I'm level 30 or 32 or something like that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that sounds about right with the time.
Yeah. It's really good. I was saying earlier in the chat that I'm a little concerned that there's. It's not that you wouldn't be able to eventually beat the game, but I think that what happened with Omewrecker is he a bunch of stats in attack up.
Yeah.
And I think attack up, it's one of those things where if you're really good at this type of game and your attack damage is really high, then you're going to be able to beat this game super quick.
Sure.
Because you're just going to be avoiding getting hit, and it doesn't matter if you have a lot of health because you're some sort of savant, not like us who are terrible at these sorts of games. So my hope is it's actually going to last me like 10 to 12 hours.
You're really just like going. You love Omewrecker, is what you're telling us,
that
right?
motherfucker.
Omewrecker's so cool, and I'm so shitty, but he's so cool.
I wish
Guys,
I
I
were
just
good at
need to
video games
know-
like Omewrecker.
When I grow up,
just
I want to
need
be
to
an
know-
Omewrecker.
I don't know
How
who
do I get
Wrecker is, but
Senpai to
he's
notice
probably
me?
much better at games than I am.
Yeah.
Omewrecker Senpai. You're just so good at video games.
I don't even know if he's still here or if we're just like.
It's not. I hope he isn't. I desperately hope he isn't. I'd be so embarrassed.
Omewrecker does a bunch of like streaming and YouTube videos under. I think his YouTube is youtube.com/themaskedgamer or something like that.
Fucking unmasked him, didn't we? You already said his name is Homewrecker. What fucking...
God damn it. We ruined everything.
That's a spoiler.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. As I think I'm ably demonstrating here, I'm not super great at this type of game.
You're doing okay.
I mean, I'm doing all right. I after a lot of practice, I'm getting better. But I think it's just I feel like I probably have a slower learning curve than Omewrecker did, which is I think what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping it will last
Well, and-
me a little bit longer as well.
Especially because you put most of your stats in health, which lets you stay alive for longer and theoretically, I guess, get better, but doesn't let you kind of blow through bosses and stuff as quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
What classes have you guys been enjoying?
As I was saying earlier, I'm really into the Lich classes.
Yeah.
I really like the whole like essentially the fact that you're also that you're progressing within the run itself.
Right, not just the meta run and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
I find that really entertaining, but I don't know if long term that's actually like the best class to actually beat the game with.
Right. Yeah, it's like one of the things is like in a boss fight, you don't get that bonus of
Yeah.
health up because you're not killing things unless it has a bunch of little ads, you know. What about GF and Janine? What have you guys been doing?
I'm still kind of experimenting. I haven't had
Yeah.
too much of a chance to play it since the demo version, and so I played a little bit of the proper release, but I'm still kind of figuring out what works. Right now it's anything with a chakram. I'm very pro chakram
But in general, not just in this game.
in general.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
You're constantly talking about that. Somebody in the chat, Virtuosphere, I think, linked to Omewrecker's channel, although I'm not going to click it, so I don't know.
Right.
But J Fabulous asked if Guacamelee was difficult for me. I would say Guacamelee was like kind of difficult. Like there were parts of Guacamelee that I found difficult. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say the whole game was like incredibly challenging, but certainly like the bosses I found really tough. And the like super special platforming sections where to get like the hidden things. I forget what they were even called at this point, but
God, I got so frustrated with the platforming in that game because at one point it's like, okay, now you have the ability to switch between worlds on the fly, and now we're going to have you jump between these parallel walls, and you have to switch at the same time as you're rebounding, and my timing was just all out of whack, and I just kind of tried for a while, and I went, okay, I'm done with this game.
yeah. Or in saying I need to quiz Phil on his setup for the people in Skype as though I have something really complex and awesome going
Yeah,
on.
this
Yeah,
is-
no, this is actually like the lowest tech. Like they're literally on Skype talking to me and watching the exact same stream, which is why there's a delay. And also, if you've listened to some of my like other stuff, whenever people complain about not being able to hear anything, it's because they're on Skype. They're only hearing
Right.
Skype.
We're not listening
Well,
to
we
the rad
could
music.
we could
for
hear
this
that
game.
stuff, but we'd also be hearing a delayed echo of our own fucking bullshit. So
That would be awful.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not a professionally run sort of thing. I mean, I kind of have the window minimized the moment and I'm eating peanuts. So
You're fired.
only
You're
one.
fired from the stream. Here's the.
I had to check my news sites. I'm back. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I
alright.
was writing some Animal Crossing
Here's
letters
the-
earlier, so
Here's the jukebox.
Yeah, the jukebox we can't hear.
Oh
God.
God.
Just teasing us with this.
Giop, your response the other day when all of the shit was going down in Texas, where you're from, and I got out of I was seeing a movie. I was seeing Man of Steel, and
Oh,
got out of
God.
Man of Steel and tried to give my opinion of Man of Steel, and people were very upset that I was not aware of what was going on yet. I jokingly tweeted, so did anything important regarding the state of our nation happen while I was in the movies? Giop had my favorite response, which was just like, nope, everybody's happy. Like, some people seemed a little grumpy earlier.
There was like a guy who was on my Twitter list who was basically actively saying we should go out and riot and kill these people. It's like, holy shit,
Whoa.
dude. And like right in the middle of that, I just kind of make a little Twitter post. I'm like, so guys, how are y'all doing tonight?
Yeah.
And some people were like pissed, and others were like, oh, doing all right. Something going on? No?
Yeah, that whole thing was pretty crazy. We don't need to talk about that. But
I
Wait,
kind of
this is-
chuckle
I
about
thought
all the
this was-
stuff with. I kind of chuckle about all this stuff with Perry because my father went to college with him and he apparently picked on him a lot.
what? Seriously?
Yeah, he was an Aggie. Pop was about a year or two older than Perry.
Wow.
Easy. So Phil, I thought this was your new politics show. Your weekly.
Yeah, my weekly show where we play roguelikes and talk about politics.
Right.
Does it make sense, right?
Right.
They
I
go
think
together.
it's just called permanent death. I am pretty sure. Because it's American politics, and those are dead to me.
I get it.
Video games.
Oh man, I found 2 journals right next to each other.
Nice.
I don't know if you get anything for collecting these other than just
hope
the
so.
story, but
A
maybe
sense of completion and maybe
Yeah.
a Steam achievement.
that's probably true.
Right.
And plus, it'll probably give you the warm and fuzzies.
I don't know about that.
Do you have the warm and fuzzies, Phil?
A little bit.
There you go.
I do-
See, that's completion getting you.
I do kind of feel like I wish I could go back and refight the boss of the castle. I'm kind of bummed that now that I've beat him.
can't?
Not right now, at least. You know, presumably in New Game
Right.
Plus or whatever.
If you go to that door,
No
it just doesn't open. Or...
looking. How do I?
Waiting for it. What's up?
Fuck. That didn't work.
Very
Yeah,
chest
I've gotten this one before. I don't understand it. You can't look at it.
Slide. Oh,
Yeah, all it takes is
no chests allowed.
Oh, Eternal Beta says you can dash backwards, Phil.
How?
Yeah, you
I think the left,
use
the
the
other
L and R triggers.
Oh my god, you totally can!
That's what I was saying earlier about dashing or sliding.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing that I could actually do.
That's pretty good.
Yep, that's good old
Well-
Symphony of the Night style stuff.
Now I know.
You
Now
would've been a
I know
terrible-
that that's
you
the
would've
only
been
way
a-
to get around.
You would have been a terrible vampire prince, Phil.
Oh,
No, now that I know about it,
Oh, well,
now you know.
that's all I'm going to be doing.
Alucard, away!
Or you could put all that effort into becoming something other than a vampire prince. Now that you know you won't be a good one. You know, just
Kind of
like
the pinnacle of things, isn't it? Being a vampire prince.
it is. Well, a lot of other jobs in the world are just they're good. They're good. They're no vampire prince, but you know, we make do. We can't all be vampire princes. That's not how capitalism works. I hope they'll all read my dissertation.
I'd read it.
Vampire Princess.
If it was about how we can't all be vampire princes, I would read
All of
it.
his references are just going to be fanfics.
Yeah.
Let me point you to Exhibit A that I got off of fanfiction.net.
You'd be
It's
surprised.
called
much,
Vampire
man.
Prince and the Maritime Lawyer.
Guys, if you're speedrunning, you always need to be dashing backwards because it's 0.5 seconds faster than dashing forward.
Dash 6, jump, equip a shield.
So this is the Bioforge of roguelikes.
Oh god. It is.
What? The who?
Bioforge. You know Bioforge, the groundbreaking game by Origin?
It's
No.
classic.
It's classic.
It's the game of the year for 6 years running.
Obviously.
In our hearts.
Sometimes you
The
guys, sometimes
What
you
was I doing those
two.
6 years? I never heard
Oh,
of this.
it's the next 6 years. It's not. It hasn't happened. It's the next 6 years.
Sometimes Austin and Janine talk about like things that I don't like are clearly like things that they know and have talked about a lot, and I don't know.
It's inside joke.
I don't know if they like expect
not.
us to know what the fuck they're talking about, but like I don't.
Giant Bomb recently did a playthrough of this game called Bioforge, which was a game that came out that Origin put
Oh
out.
yeah, that's right. I saw
and
them
in-
doing that.
Right, and in that game, you walk backwards faster than forwards,
Like in real life.
like in real life, and it's really the case when you get hurt.
Oh
Because
my god.
your walk forward thing animation gets really slow.
Good friend Ellie says that's why Austin and Janine are the best. It's true.
It's true. That's why.
Brack the Man says this game is going to have some crazy ass no upgrade runs eventually. I agree.
Oh,
I
that's
cannot
true.
fucking wait. That's
Oh,
the stuff
yeah.
I want to see on Twitch.
The other rune that I don't know if you've seen yet, I got a rune earlier that's like the opposite of your. You have that rune that's like, oh, enemies scale slower.
Mm-hmm.
I have a rune that's enemies are harder, but they drop more gold. And I think we're also going to see a lot of that. Like a lot of the hard mode is built into the game through this rune, and if you stack 5 of those runes, I bet it's just fucking impossible. But you get crazy gold.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
And Phil, your family tree has so many Hokages going on there.
I know. They're good, though. They're trustworthy.
So many
Oh,
ninjas.
I didn't know I could do this.
Oh, go
Do
back. Wait.
I got this, guys. I got
Okay,
this.
excited. Wait, how do you... What? Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah.
I've never used one of the Hokages. Does that use mana?
Yeah, it does.
It's still cool.
I've seen
Janine's
cool
not
ninjas.
impressed. Oh, nobody's impressed but Austin. And Austin's easy to impress.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy to pass that with this one.
Excuse me, sir. Ninjas usually don't wear plate mail, so also you're not using a katana.
He's very
He's
proud.
not a real ninja. I'll have
He's
you know.
proud of both his mother and father's side. He was a ninja on his mother's side and a knight on his father's side, so he's repping both. He's got that ninja headband, you know?
So, guys, before we talk about the Atlus stuff that's depressing,
Yeah.
let me ask, what's your guys' take on Shin Megami Tensei? Oh God, on Shin Megami Tensei 4.
I'm super hot.
I'm looking forward to it.
That dude's a samurai and he has like a cyber arm wrist thing.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
awesome. Sorry, I started
Are you-
playing it, so
Oh, did you? I'm really excited, Phil. So,
I can't actually talk about it yet. So but
he
but
is
I-
a samurai with a cyber
here's what I'm
arm
gonna say.
wrist,
I'm
right?
like an hour in, and it's pretty awesome.
All right, good. I'm excited.
I'm
Honestly,
interested in
I-
it because of that. Is it the day one DLC that like it if you don't want to grind, it sort of provides you an alternative? It's like a dungeon.
Yeah,
that gives you
gotta-
super XP
Don't even
and
know.
shit.
I don't know
So
anything about that.
Apparently, there's a dungeon that is day one free DLC that is just like, oh yeah, beat this dungeon and you'll be level 99 and have good equipment. and
What?
Just whatever. Like, we get it. You want to play this game and see the cool shit. Don't worry about
Seriously?
it. Yeah.
That's
Which is
kind of
so
cool.
not Atlus,
It's-
but I'm way down for it.
It's kind of crazy and like bizarre, but at the same time, I don't really have the time to commit to a proper Shin Megami Tensei right now. So that sort of, if I'm gonna play that game, I'm probably gonna play it
kind
with
of
that.
like
and
I would never like I'm not gonna do that myself. Just because like it's my like reviewer. I mean, I'm not playing it for review, but my reviewer sense forces
Yeah.
like I can't not play games the way they're intended for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's super cool. Like I like that that's an option.
They did something like that with Soul Hackers, which they put out recently on the 3DS, where in Soul Hackers you already had a thing called a comp, which is like
Yeah.
a computer, right? And even in the game, you had certain, in the original Saturn, you had like software you could load onto your comp.
Yeah.
That would do certain things like
They have
world.
this is all in Shin Megami Tensei 4 as well.
Okay, so in Soul Hackers, one of what they added that wasn't there originally were things that like let you not have to deal with some of the more obscure systems, let you save anywhere, and that stuff was not in the original Saturn release.
Interesting.
So they've been like, I think they've been kind of working around and thinking through how do we make these games more approachable.
A big part of with Persona 4 the Golden as well was they were like, hey, I think they realized like, man, Persona 4 has the potential to like hit a much bigger audience, and they added in like that I think it was just called Very Easy or something, or like Super Easy, but it's like an incredibly easy mode, like just lowers the difficulty intensely.
Right.
And I recommended it to a lot of people when I told them about that game. I was just like, I think you're the type of person who would really like this game,
Yeah.
but you're probably not going to like the battle system stuff as much, so like just play on Very Easy.
Right. And there's
I
like
basically.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I wrote something to that effect about Remember Me, which is a game that has been getting like serious mixed reviews, but is really beautiful and has a lot of really nicely constructed elements. But then the combat's really clunky and weird.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about it.
And
Yeah.
I sort of what I wrote about that was just, don't feel like you're a wuss if you want to play on easy mode just to experience this shit without slogging through hours of kind of shitty combat mechanics.
I guess two questions. One Phil may not be able to answer it, but in the terms of storyline, is Shin Megami Tensei 4 supposed to be lightweight in the sense of like Nocturne kind of was? I remember Nocturne being very bare bones on the story.
I've never beat Nocturne, but I've played quite a bit of it. Like I said, I've only played like
maybe I'm misremembering it.
2 hours into Shin Megami Tensei 4. It seems like SMT4 has more storyline going on than Nocturne had.
Okay. I guess the other question I had, which was not really related to that, but someone mentioned Soul Hackers. I actually didn't try that. Was that any good?
I like Soul Hackers.
Does it play like a regular SMT game, or is it?
Yeah,
I think the one thing about Soul Hackers, and this is the case with, with like the Persona 1 remake and stuff. I feel like it's a little bit hard to go back to.
Yeah, that's completely true.
And they definitely updated it, as Austin said. But if you're really into like the more modern SMT games, it's still a little bit esoteric and weird, and not always friendly.
Is it? What do you mean? Was it like a remake of a really old SMT game? Or?
Soul Hackers is a remake of a Saturn game, I think.
Yeah,
Oh.
and it still looks like a Saturn game, and it's still the menus are still like Saturn game era stuff. Like so that stuff is tough. Sorry, I'm loving at a joke Janine is making in the chat, which is not how this is supposed to work.
You're what?
I was laughing. I got distracted because Janine made a joke in chat.
Janine.
And that was distracting. Yeah, she didn't want to interrupt. So yeah, no.